Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today, Akli Adjaoute, CEO of Exponion. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you, Rocco. Thank you for having me.
So you have the most beautiful name. Just off recording, we talked about that. If you want to just recap for the listeners a bit about what we talked about, where your name comes from, where your heritage comes from, because I think that ties in a lot to where it is that you come from and what you do at the moment.
Yeah, so thank you for asking that. So I was talking about the indigenous people of North Africa, which is a lot of people don't know like the history of like they hear about Romanian Empire, the Greek, but they don't hear about the Numidian Empire. And Numidia is a very unique because I mean with history is like. I will take just three examples that are connected, related to the Numidian Empire. Like for people in America, because a lot of them are Christian, a lot don't know, for example, that Saint Augustine was born in the region. Of course, you have the Jewish Kahina that fought the Arabic for many years. And then you have also the Tariq, who conquered Spain, and this is why they call it Gibraltar. So it's the people from the Numidian Empire. I'm from this minority called the Kabylian. A lot of people don't understand that the quote unquote think that everyone that lives in the region are Arabic. We don't speak Arabic. We are not in any way Arabic. We're more Mediterranean. The language actually, Tifina, is more like, it's different. I try to give an example. It's like the Greek, the alphabet, and it's a beautiful culture. It's honestly probably the thing that I love the most from my culture in Kabylia is it's the only part in the world where when people swear, they say Shema Liman, which means in the name of all religion. And it's just it's older civilization. If you talk about Roman Empire again, or the Greek or the Numidian, few people know about it. But man, I'm extremely proud of my Kabylian culture. I love it, and I dream about it. Think it's all it's my life. It's just that my parents received it from their grandparents. The culture of honor, of respect, and I hope I give it to my kids. So
it's a beautiful, beautiful language. Like I said to you, let's get straight into why you're here today, and that is AI. A lot of people think that AI is this new shiny object, this new tool that we have. You've been around in and around AI research for 3 decades. All right. I saw a quote from you, I think it was in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, saying something about AI is a new, this been around it's been around for a very long time. How has AI changed since you first worked in the field and what we're seeing now with GPT and the models from Google, etc.?
Yeah, I think AI did not start with, in the 80s when I was doing it, or it's a way. I'll give you an example. Like in 1956, it's way. There is an amazing pioneer in AI. His name Arthur Samuel, and Arthur Samuel actually wrote a program, believe it or not, that beat the best, the people that play checker. And it was still advised. I'm talking, I think it happens in February 1956, before even I was born.
Wow.
And so in 1956, you had a machine beating human in it's the same thing, you know, back then we had fascination, fear, it's the same things. And I'm sure you probably heard about when we talk about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just an evolution of something that started in 1960s. There was a program called ELIZA that was designed by a very amazing human being. I really admire him because of his humility, extremely talented, but very humble. His name is Joseph Weizenbaum. He was professor in MIT, and when he created the program, it's like the ChatGPT today. You talk to him, and he was like more as a therapist. So you ask him questions, he responds to you. Of course, he was not as sophisticated as today, but you know, if you say, you know, my boss is the problem of my unhappiness, if he doesn't know the response, he will just send you back what you said. He will respond, okay, so if I understand correctly, it's your boss who's the problem. So a lot of people actually believe that they were talking to therapists, which put Joseph Weizenbaum, it's like, oh, this is insanity. So artificial intelligence did not like start today. You probably you are young, Rocco, but I'm sure you probably heard about what it's called Deep Blue. You know, the when IBM won the chess, you know, with Kasparov.
Yes,
it's the same thing. We went through. It's going to change the world, blah blah blah, etc., etc. And we had the game of it's called Jeopardy. You had AlphaGo with Google. So it was more for marketing than anything, because you know you see how ChatGPT, for example, today Google is having a deep trouble to catch up with the ChatGPT. And so if they had really an AI that was, oh my God, beat it Go. Go is the most difficult game. So if you have an AI that beat the damn most difficult game, why don't you do the same thing as ChatGPT? So that shows you exactly that it's specifically designed to solve one problem and do it well. But I think, you know, so we went through a lot of, you know, now we talk about machine learning that learns from, you know, like gameplay itself. But that's what Samuel did in 1956. So it's just the same kind of technique, but what we have now is speed, powerful machines, and more data. But, you know, outside the algorithm that was created in 1980s, who literally redefined machine learning, it's called backpropagation. So basically, you're trying to learn something, you move forward, you try to find patterns that allow you to distinguish the things that you're learning. And then if you make an error, you come back, you correct it. This is why we call it backpropagation. You go up, down, back. But I don't want to, you know, and then, you know, from that, we created the concept marketing of deep learning. I remember being interviewed about deep learning, and I was asked in 2015 what I thought about deep learning, and I said, before you use the word deep, show me the learning. So it's really impressive that for people, I would tell you, it's like when I was young, if you were good in math, you know, they would tell you 5 + 6 multiplied by 2 divided by this, but people thought you were a genius. And then now my kids will laugh on that, because they have, you know, you go buy at Walmart, you buy a calculator for 50 cents and $1, and they beat any human being. But we don't say the calculator is a genius, it's taking time. So this is just a different way. It's like we moved it from calculation to data to things. But specifically,
like that.
artificial intelligence is still based on probability and statistic, and it has nothing to do with human intelligence.
Wow, that's so fascinating. Your new book, it's coming out now. It's coming out soon. It's called Inside AI. I believe you've got a copy there. Show
Yeah.
it to this. Do you want to show it up to the screen? It's called
Voila.
Inside AI. It's beautiful. What is it about? What is first of all, why did you write the book? I guess that's my let's start.
Yeah, it tells you how bad I am. It took me, damn it, 4 years to write it, more than 3.5 years. So I was lucky to work with a lot of great people, but one guy really influenced my vision of life. I mean, he's the head of international police, the head of Interpol. So he's originally from United Kingdom, and we met in 1999. I mean, he did the foreword for my book. Talks about how we met, what's his story, and then one day he says, like, I keep hearing about artificial intelligence, and I worked at, he was the chairman of the board, and he said, that's not AI, I understand. I mean, company, of course, we sold it for a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of millions. So it must be a good company. So if we had that type of company, how is it possible that the AI I heard in the news has nothing to do with the one we do? So he said, would you write a book now that you had the exit and you have time? And I'm like, why not? For you, so he was joking and say, okay, I wish you would have a copy for me. And actually, I went to France last in October, to give him the first e-version of the book. So I think the reason I wrote the book is just to share my experience. You know, I was lucky to be an entrepreneur. I have a Ph.D. in artificial intelligence. And also because as a side, I always liked to teach, because teaching allowed me to, actually when you teach, you learn more from your student. It's an exchange, particularly when you give them the chance to be at your level and to challenge you and ask. And I was lucky to have, I was teaching in France and in the US. In the US, it was difficult. I tried it twice, but I had so many work. My company was taking over. I mean, we had a lot of. It was becoming a very a big company, and I did not have the time that I had in France. And but through my teaching of artificial intelligence, through applying it to mission critical applications, I thought it was, a way for me to write a book and share my experience. My kids was against it. Dad, don't write a book. Both my son and my daughter were like, don't write a book. But, as a respect for Raymond, I decided to write a book. And I'm loving it. I just heard that it's now being in a program for, I think, an MBA at the university. And it's the guy ordered for his class all the books, and he thanked me for writing it because he thought that inside it. So what's in the book is you will understand what's artificial intelligence, what are the techniques. I did everything I could to make it less technical because there's millions of books about technical AI. Of course, there is a little bit to, what are the AI? And the question you asked earlier, how did AI come from? What happened before? So I talk about Archer Samuel, I talk about expert system, neural network, genetic algorithm, business rules, fuzzy logic, case-based reasoning, pretty much all the AI technology, smart agent, the vision I created. It's different than other people. We applied it for mission critical. So that's the reason of the book. It's mainly to share my 35 years of experience, first as an my experience in academia with, and all my experience is just helping people to understand AI, how to apply it, and how to learn from our errors, because I have a chapter about learning from success and errors in AI. And actually the last chapter, I think, so I wanted to summarize, if I needed to build today the next generation AI, what are the characteristics of the next generation? So I put my 35 years of experience in the book.
Amazing. My community, when I said I was talking to you on my podcast, there was two major themes that immediately jumped out, and that's the two that I want to talk to you about. It's the one was ethics, and I think from an ethical standpoint, people are, I think they are worried about the data that our large language models are trained on. Especially creative data. Where's the data? Is it how ethical is it to source data from other people and then give another output? What do you think there?
Any AI program with data is worthless, zero. So anyone who tells you that AI learned by itself is an idiot. An idiot.
I'm laughing because of that I can't remember her name now, but the lady from OpenAI, when the reporter asked her where was this model trained on, she went like this, zigzagged around the question. It's like, I don't know. And of course she should know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's same as say I will make a meal, but I have no ingredient. Okay, you starve to death. You'll be like, okay, so it's the same thing without data. So whatever artists, and there are actually lawsuits against the IP. Reuse, or call it IP theft, call it whatever.
Yes.
I don't. But I would tell you, ChatGPT brings a lot of value. It's amazing. It's actually the first program that democratized AI, that allows AI to be in the head of everyone. Because before AI was like for companies, or you had to have a lot of experience in this and that. And ChatGPT pretty much changed that. It's an amazing breakthrough.
Wait,
but
what companies had access to AI?
What companies what?
Had access to AI. You said before GPT only.
Before it's like the banks, the government, but people at home did not know what is AI. Of course, they have it in their watches, but they couldn't just connect to ChatGPT online and see the benefit of AI. Before ChatGPT, so ChatGPT is like, it's turning AI like a search engine, one type of AI, not all AI. It's not the text. My concern is this: AI brings a lot of benefits, but I think what concerns me the most is that it's the people don't talk about it, but all the advancement we had through the human history, where with science was proven. So it's like when we define science, it's an accumulation of knowledge that was validated. So the foundation of the science was through rigorous validation of knowledge. But today with ChatGPT, because ChatGPT or any other program with a large language model, they just take data without really understanding it, and they make guesses. So picture a world where science moves from proven, validated, to a world of approximation, where we don't know if it's true. We believe it's true, but we don't know. So that's scary, because we are going to move from the word, in French, there is a word called science exacte, which is exact science, meaning it's proven. And then we're moving to a science where it's all approximation. it's not anymore. It's not anymore like validation, because what it does, it takes AI, and you learn from it, and you learn from what's in online, what's in internet, what's in the book, and then it's no we have no validation whatsoever because AI cannot explain its reasoning. That's one of the biggest problems. The other problem that we don't talk about is like you picture if all the generation now, the new generation, go learn AI through programs like ChatGPT. We're building a zombie side. They will all think the same way. They will all have the same thing.
It's one big echo chamber. Yes.
Yeah, the problem with that is that ChatGPT, when they read the data, it's like Google, they classify documents based on how much people are referenced and this, and how marketing, how people, all the nonsense about why something get put first, and all the marketing and power that exists, but they're really beautiful science that no one heard about it. I will tell you a story. When I did my PhD, I was broke. I couldn't afford to enter a coffee or something. So I was waiting for Natalie, my wife. She was finishing her PhD at Sorbonne University, and I was doing my PhD. She actually was starting it. She was doing that.
Okay.
And there was a book in the street in Saint Michel Street there, and they sell books for like 10 cents, 5 cents. So because I was bored, I took a book written in 1600. Google will not even reference that book because it's an old book. And what I was trying to solve this problem. I was doing my PhD at Necker Hospital to apply AI to mirror a doctor. And in that book, it says, if you wanted to teach a clock or a watch, don't teach a watch. What you need to do is disassemble all the elements and be sure that every element explains why it needs to be in a watch. What's the role? And that's opened my mind to a technology that my vision of smart agent that allowed me not only to get my PhD, build 2 successful businesses and sell them. So it was a small book. I actually, in my PhD, I referred to that. So if we enter now the world where everyone goes to ChatGPT or whatever, or
whatever,
Gemini, whatever call it, then we are building a zombie people. They all think the same. No one will read about the book like this story I told you. And the big risk, you heard it in the news, it's about the deep fake. You saw what happened to Taylor Swift. We live in a world where now I can create a picture of you, me, anyone, because it's easy, and make you say things or do things that you never did. Can you picture the damage for the people? Particularly, there's thousands of apps that do that today. They are coming to steal the data from teenagers. Teenagers will start bullying other teenagers with not only text, but videos, blackmailing other people about companies. It's not anymore ransomware where give me the money, I will not give you the data, or I will publish this, I will do this. And what about the election? No one believes anything anymore. You see a video, we don't know if it's true or not. So if we live in a world where the news, we don't know if it's true, a video, we don't know if it's true, do you think that's progress?
No. And also companies are laying off workers. Supposedly, the tech companies say AI is not replacing people, but now we've got companies like Klarna, which is the buy now, pay later, one of the biggest buy now, pay later companies, saying that they are seeing that AI can do the work or the same amount of work that 700 workers are doing. So now you're sitting with that issue as well.
Absolutely. I think the all tasks that can rely on text that are, I would say, not really dealing with deep thinking. For example, I was talking to lawyers that were using young people to look for whatever assistant to help them find some information. They can use AI now to do that. So I think there is a lot of jobs that can easily be automated. Not all the jobs. I don't see today jobs requiring, I don't see robotic replacing people building houses or even making clothing. People tried and give up, and even coffee machines. In my book, I talk about stories, or we heard about other companies like Zoom that had billions of dollars to make the pizza by itself, and they went broke and they went bankrupt. But anything that's related to searching information, writing things, getting things, AI will more and more get involved, even in things like driving. I think because driving should be very easy. You are driving, everyone is looking. We have cameras, so it should be easier to build cars that drive by themselves. So I think we are really entering a world where it's kind of scary, because when you think about the hope is we should use AI to actually counterbalance the negative thing of AI. Like in deep fake, we should absolutely, next generation of startups should start thinking about a way of reducing the harm that AI does. But today, see, it's not just Taylor Swift. You hear about many people that find themselves saying things that they never said, particularly people in the news, government. And it's, the most precious. I think people in America don't understand the value. A lot understand, but there are many that don't understand the value of true democracy. How precious is a democracy? Because when you live in a country, or you lived in a country where a dictatorship, when people can put you in prison for no reason, when someone can take your whatever you have, where a judge will put you, all this dictatorship.
Like in North Korea, there was two.
It's not just North Korea.
No,
North
but
Africa,
what I'm saying is, yes,
of,
there was two boys put into 12 years hard labor for watching a South Korean television show.
But we talk about North Korea, but it's not just in North Korea, North Africa, in Middle East, all of them. It's just like you're not free. You will not. You can't say whatever you want. Are you kidding me? There's countries that will put you in prison if you say something on Facebook.
Yes,
it's so. The scary part is if we don't value, you understand the value of water when you experience thirst, the value of food when you experience anger, etc. But you did not have enough food to eat. The same thing for democracy. People that grew up with it, they think it's just there. But it's actually a concern, because if we start seeing a world where AI can move people toward non-democratic regime, or people that have no not good intention, that's possible. Today you saw recently, I think it was in Argentina or something, or I don't know, where you can make someone say things that are so out of context, and people will believe it's true, because a lot of people, there are people that still believe that the Earth is flat. So how is it possible they would not believe a video? It's people believe anything. So put it online and people say it's true.
Doctor, fascinating stuff. I'm going to wrap up our conversation now, just because my time is almost done. People, go out and buy his book. Please put it up again. It's called Inside AI. It's available everywhere. Amazon. You won't find it. You probably won't find it in a little bookshop. Maybe you do. Maybe you pick up the book in a little bookshop and it changes your life, and you go on to go and do great things. And when the next AI hype cycle comes past, you or maybe the savior of the human race. You never know.
Yeah, I think to finish, they can buy it on Manning directly, and they have all the ebook and whatever they're looking for. But I think, honestly, let me finish with this. The idea of this book is that, I do believe that AI is going to affect every family, the future of the kids, the relatives. And today, I get a lot of calls from very successful people asking me to talk to their kids about what they need to do, what's AI, this and that. So I find it really not fair that an average, like when I grew up, we were very, very poor, and I probably will have missed the opportunity to learn about something that's really important. So I hope that my book, the reason I wrote the book in a way that everyone could understand it, and I asked it for the price to not be that high, because I wanted everyone to afford it. And the goal is to help families of every, anyone should be able to read this and say, oh man, I see what it can do. It will educate you about, knowing how to filter what information you read or you see. And more importantly, it will open your mind about the potential of AI, so you can share it with your kids and create this desire for them to embrace this beautiful field, that if we have a lot of people embracing it in a positive way, we will apply it for the good of everyone.
Amazing. And we'll put all the links in the comments. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me today. And to our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. And we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.